Alright guys, so here's the review of the San Martin SN020-G3. So this is the version 3 of this particular model. I've not tried out the other two previous ones, but I have tried out a similar one in a different size. So you're probably going to know this more as the 39mm Explorer Homage. So I've tried out the 36 before, but never tried out the 39. So there's a few little differences between the two, other than the size, but we'll get into that as we get into the review. Before we do that though, I've actually got a discount code, so if you use the discount code HWR, you'll get $20 off on a $200 spend, and that applies to anything on the store as well. So if you're not interested in this one, you can use it on something else. So nice little bonus there. So as I say, been trying this out for a while. Full disclosure, I was sent it for free, don't have to send it back, but you know the score. So I'm going to change the way I do my reviews, going to keep it 100% honest all the time, no matter what. So enough waffling, let's jump right in and let's find out what it's like. So here's what you get. I'm not going to go over the packaging because you know what that is by now, the San Martin packaging. And the first thing you're probably going to notice is that lovely domed crystal on this. So this is one of the main differences between this one and the 36mm. So I'll quickly bring that in, show you that side by side. So that one's got a flat crystal, this one's got that lovely dome. And then the other major difference between the two is when it comes to the dials. So this one is just fully printed, the 36mm, whereas the 39 has got applied indices. So two differences that really add up to take this to the next level, I think. So let's go zoom in on that dial properly, and we can see it in a bit more detail. So as I say, fully applied indices on this. Then we've got that applied San Martin logo at the top. I know some people don't like that, I personally quite like it. And now they have actually got consistent branding as well. So you've got the same logo on the crown and also on the clasp. So it is good they've sorted that out. Because at one point they did seem to have a bit of a mix of different branding, which was a little bit inconsistent, but they seem to have sorted that out, which is good to see. Another good thing to see is those female end links. So that'll keep that lug to lug down, even for this larger 39mm version. And you can see as well, got a fully polished side and then brushed on the top. So I've picked up a few little scuffs on this already. Just one of the downsides, but it does look good when it is clean, and it is only on the sides, not the whole case at least. So that helps it integrate with the bracelet as well, which is brushed. And then again on the side, we've got the polish. So that continues across. Then we've got screw links. As you saw before, that nice milled clasp, chamfered edge, which again polished, so it kind of ties it in. Plenty of micro adjust, double pushers, milled clasp. Sterile case back, but as you come to expect with San Martin, just really nicely finished. No issues at all. So now, let's quickly test whether we've got sapphire crystal with this, using the trusty down selector too. And yep, we have got sapphire crystal. So that just makes it even better. So not only we've got that lovely dome, we've also got sapphire as well. Really nice to see. So you're probably wondering what the dimensions like on this. So let's talk about them now. So we've got 39mm diameter, 12.7mm thick, so it's a bit thicker than the other one, but you expect that with that domed crystal. Lug width, we've got 20mm, and the all-important lug to lug is coming in at 47.5. So pretty nice dimensions. Not all that much bigger than the 36mm. So I'll quickly pop up on screen the dimensions for this one, so you can see the difference. Not all that different really. So this one isn't actually 36mm, it is actually 37. Thickness, a little bit less, but as I say, You expect that with the crystal. Same lug width, 20mm, and then a little bit shorter when it comes to the lug to lug. But again, they're both really wearable for most wrist sizes. So we'll quickly bring this one back in. One of the other slight differences is when it comes to the movements. So with this one, you can get it with the Seagull ST2103 or the SW200. Whereas with the 36mm, you can get that with the PT5000 or the SW200. So slight difference there, but when it comes to the ST2130 and the PT5000, they're both clones of the ETA 2824, as is the SW200. But obviously they're Chinese movements, whereas the SW200 is a Swiss one. When it comes to price, for the Seagull movement in this one, it's coming in at about £275. Then with the SW200, it's about £385. So a pretty significant price difference. And it's pretty similar, again, with the 36mm. Similar kind of price difference, similar kind of pricing, albeit with a slightly different movement on the slightly more budget version, if you can call it that. So it's basically just going to come down to which one you prefer size-wise, and whether you really want that dome crystal and those applied indices. So now, let's show you what the loom's like on this. As you can see, we've got quite a bit there already, but let's charge it up, give it a proper chance. Got to keep it consistent across all the reviews, so you can see exactly what you're dealing with. And there we go. So as you've come to expect with San Martin, really good loom. So you've got that BGW9, it's got that ice blue, and it is really, really good, really bright. No patchiness at all, consistent across the hands and the indices. And because it's got applied indices, this is actually slightly better than the other one as well, because that was a fully printed dial. It was still good, but because it was only printed, they couldn't get as much as they got on this. So because this has got applied indices, the loom is even better. So if you really like the loom, this is probably the better option, because it is going to last a bit longer. But you can't really go wrong with either, to be honest. They're both really good. San Martin is always just a step above pretty much every other AliExpress brand when it comes to loom, I think. Here's a quick side-by-side just to show you. So the one on the right is the 36mm, the one on the left, that's the 39. So you can see the 36mm isn't quite as bright, but again, still pretty impressive, as I mentioned. But again, not as bright, doesn't last quite as long. So the 39mm is definitely trumping it on that one. So, seeing as we've talked about it a bit, let's show you this movement in action. So we've got screw down crown, pop it out once, we have actually got a go state position. Then pop it out again, you can see the second hand stops, so we've got hacking. And then obviously we can just change the time. Pop it back in, second hand re-engages. Then we've got hand winding. All works well, no issues. And then screw the crown back down. As I say, I've had no issues with it at all. Just as reliable as the PT5000s I've got and SW200s. They're all pretty much interchangeable from my experience in terms of performance. So I could definitely say you're not going to be losing out if you go for this, rather than the PT5000 or the other one, or the SW200, unless you really want that Swiss movement. So as soon as we start talking about all this, let's get it on wrist and let's wrap this up. And this is what it looks like on my 7-inch wrist. And it does wear really nicely. And I do love the way the light catches that dome crystal. And it just makes a big difference as well, having those applied indices, I think. Definitely takes it to the next level compared to the 36mm. And again, as you expect with San Martin, perfect finishing. Get a nice size and fit with that plenty of micro adjust. And again, pretty compact look to lug, even though it's a 39mm. Still wears really well. And again, the way the light just catches those indices in the hands, with the high polish, just adds an extra dimension, I think, compared to the other version, which is a little bit flat. I'll quickly show you what it's like in comparison, just so you can see. So as you can see, you've got a nice bit of light play on the hands, but with the indices just being printed, a little bit flat, and also that flat crystal as well. And when it comes to the actual wearing on the wrist, it's not all that much smaller, I don't think. I think proportionally, the other one is probably better. The bezel on this looks a little bit large, I think. Now I've seen it up against the other one. But let me know, which one do you think is better? Which one are you more likely to go for? But that's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.